All right, so I'm here with my good friends, Ron King and Jane Hilton. They have a special role in this church, and so I wanted to talk to them about it. And I wanted to ask you, y'all remember the sad events of September 11th, 2001? We call that 9/11. Remember that? I wonder if you all know what you all were doing on September the 30th of 2001. Anybody have any idea what y'all were doing September 30th, 2001? Remember, we just celebrated the 20th anniversary of 9/11. There's another anniversary we should have celebrated. Did you know that it was the day that Ron and Barbara King joined Cedar Park First United Methodist Church? Did you know that, Ron? September 30th, 2001?
I didn't have that.
That was a red letter date, Ron, because I think just shortly after you joined the church, the finance committee came after you and said, Ron, we want you to be on the finance committee.
That was pretty close, yeah. And I do remember joining the church.
Melanie Miner was the pastor back then, but you've been here 20 years, Ron, and you've done everything in the world. And right now you're the finance chair and you're helping Jane Hilton. Jane came about, I guess, 7 or 8 years ago, 2014. And we put you to work when you came too, right, Jane?
That's right.
The last couple of years you've been helping out with Ron. And what you all do is technically called being the financial secretary of the church. What do you guys do anyway? And how much money do they pay you to do it? Y'all work for free. Is that crazy? Anyway, tell me what you all do. Somebody respond.
Is that for me or for Jane?
What do you all do? Jane, tell us what you do. What do you do? You come in every Monday morning, Every Monday morning,
and if I have a conflict, sometimes I come in on Sunday instead, but I take care of the
all the offering, right? Making sure that what the counters have done, you have to go back through all the stuff that they did and make sure they did it right. I
go through the online.
Oh, you're the online.
I do most of the online.
I see.
So that people who can, that it's easier for them to donate online, we can take that and process it so that they don't have to be in person or have checks or anything like that.
So Ron is the one looking at what the counters did on Sunday, huh?
He's primary on that.
Actually, Jane and I both are there normally, but sometimes she does come in on even Sunday evening and go over the Vanco giving, the online giving, and then we go over what the counters have submitted. And
you're talking about these counters. There's actually a whole group of people, and they come in each Sunday right after church. There's 2 of them, not in the same family, that actually count the offering, and they record it on the computer, and then you have to verify or validate their work, right?
Well, they actually do. They count it. Of course, there are 2 people not related to one another that do the counting, and then they take it as soon as it's been counted and take it over and deposit it in the bank. We go over and make sure that what they've counted is what's actually been deposited in the bank, and fortunately they agree. But we also make sure that they're what they've put in is counted, whether they're pledged or unpledged, and the account number is correct, that they for accounting purposes.
Okay, so you mentioned that pledged or unpledged. I guess that has a lot to do with this little card that people are submitting today, this little pledge card. Do they have to sign in blood? Is this written in stone, Ron, when people turn these things in? I mean, it's kind of scary to commit.
Well, it's something that that is very, very important. The good thing about it, if their situation in life changes during the year, they can either submit a new pledge card or call me or call Jane and ask to have their pledge reduced or increased over the year.
Right. So
Some
it's really just kind of an estimate of givings to help you, because the finance committee has to kind of come up with a budget for next year, right?
That is right, and we've got a pretty good handle on what our expenses are, but
Until we get these cards in, we really kind of don't have much of an idea about income, right?
well, what we've got so far, we've got three of those cards turned in so far, and that's not going to cover all of the expenses that we have, certainly.
Right, and I'm sure we'll have a bunch more come in today. I think you were telling me, Ron, that somewhere in the 40s in terms of units, family units or individuals are around 45, 46.
Mid-40s.
Mid-40s is how many people pledge. And really, as I was looking at the financial statements, I see about 85% of the church's income comes from pledged givers. So those 40 some odd people actually contribute 85% of the amount that's given to the church. I think that's pretty amazing. Got a lot of generous people in this church.
We certainly do.
You know, there's another little envelope that Jane Hilton, you've been in this church now about 7 years, but when you first saw this envelope, you thought it was for something else, right? This 2 for $20 envelope?
Right. When I heard about apportionments, it sounded to me like it was for the higher ups of the Methodist Church and
For the big boys and
for the big
girls.
boys. And I've since then learned that apportionments do go to the national, the United Methodist Church, but so much of it is for the 20 plus missions, the disaster relief, and all the programs that the Methodist Church uses to help other people.
Absolutely. Scholarships to Methodist schools, Lydia Patterson Institute, the little school for disadvantaged children in El Paso, starting new churches, helping out with historically Black colleges that the United Methodist Church started. Just lots of great mission and ministry when people contribute 2 for $20, plus the one going to that Rwandan widow that we support over there in Rwanda, whose life was turned upside down by the genocide in the mid 90s.
And if everyone would put in $2 a week, or any amount you can, we would have that all taken care of.
Right, because our apportionments amount to about $20,000 a year. And so that's, and all Methodist churches pay their apportionments. And so we give in union with all these other Methodist churches, and that money goes all over the world to support the various ministries and missions of the United Methodist Church. It's pretty exciting, kind of an exciting thing. But people also give to a bunch of other ministries too, like Hill Country Community Ministries. People are always given to them, and the Texas Wesley, the United Methodist Campus Ministry, and wow, there's just a whole lot of things that people support. Child's Haven, United Methodist Committee on Relief, and Gaston Ntambo, that missionary that we support in the Democratic Republic of Congo, flying that plane and helping people get to medical services in that very big country. So people are very generous in this church, aren't they?
And part of our job is to make sure that whatever you donate gets on your statement And we send you the statement, so you'll have it for your records and your taxes.
So you all are keeping track of the giving and then helping people know where they stand in the giving. So are you sure we don't pay you something? Did I hear you all take a big trip to Europe or anything lately? Didn't happen, did it? So I guess you're just stars on your crowns or adding to that.
We enjoy helping.
I want to tell you how much we really appreciate the two of you. And Ron, thank you for 20 years of service to this church. And I was looking at the roll, Ron, and you know who came just slightly before you? It was our lovely pianist, Jody Blount, 20 years ago in the summer of 2001. So some really great people came in 2001. The Kings, your lovely wife, Barbara, and Jody Blount and her family. I think that was a banner year, 2001. Anyway, I thank you all for your time and thank you again for your service to the church. And I think this church has got a lot going for it, including the two of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peter.